for the 1998 World Cup finals.
After 8 years of waiting in the wilderness, England have finally qualified for the World Cup finals once again. For so long, the ultimate prize in football has been the ultimate source of frustration for England. But Glenn Hoddle has masterminded England's glorious march towards football's greatest showpiece, the World Cup in 1998. Rome's Olympic Stadium provided the stage for emotional scenes among the England players, coaches and supporters, and the celebrations continued long after the final whistle.
Go, boss, get yourself there! Right!
This is the story of England's road to France. When Glenn Hoddle agreed to take on the England job, he knew the road to World Cup qualification was full of potential pitfalls. The departing coach, Terry Venables, had laid the foundations for his successor to build upon. But England faced a tough qualifying group. 3 times World Cup winners Italy were most people's favourites to make it to France.
I don't mind saying, I heard the draw and I thought, well, we're playing for second place. And even that might be touch and go, because going to places like Georgia and Poland, remembering what Georgia had done to Wales and what Moldova had done to Wales as well, knowing that England, I always felt, I don't now, I always felt had a slight inferiority complex whenever they played the Italians. The Italians hardly ever get it wrong in qualifying games. I thought it was a wretched group.
The difficult part for us, and we said it right from the beginning, and no holds barred, we always felt it was a difficult place to go, the last game in Rome. And but it was out of our hands. We just had to accept that was how it was.
Hoddle's first task was to appoint an England captain. BBC radio football correspondent Mike Ingham explained why he chose Alan Shearer.
Alan Shearer is the one player who's always guaranteed to be in the side. You know, you can have a problem sometimes if you pick a captain, and then you have the embarrassment of that captain perhaps not being worth a place in the team. That's never ever going to happen with Shearer.
England's campaign began with a match against Moldova. Without the benefit of any friendlies, Hoddle chose to stick to the formation which had served England so well during Euro '96.
I thought Glenn Hoddle was very wise, very shrewd. He built upon the camaraderie and the spirit of Euro '96. It would have been quite wrong if he turned that inside out. Essentially, it was that squad with a couple of notable exceptions, having Hinchliffe, giving him his international debut, and also David Beckham on the right-hand side. But you know, having paid tribute to Hoddle, bearing in mind the scenario that he inherited, he went straight for Beckham, the very first game. And you know, Beckham's the only player who's played in every single game in the qualifiers.
Pearce stooping in, Mitterrand, lovely touch from Curtiano, Mitterrand away from Beckham. And with back passes, you've got to be very careful as well. Stuart Pearce, of course, played in England's last match under the World Cup umbrella, away to San Marino. I don't know what happened in the first moments of that game, with Messrs Pearce and Seaman involved. Gary Neville. And a goal for Barmby! Well, that will settle England down. Volleyed in.
Well, it's been threatening from across since the minute one. Look at that great ball, and Shearer makes the first run, and because of that, it takes the defender away. And Barmby, well, it wasn't a simple tap in. It was on the volley, struck it in very confidently, Nicky Barmby.
Oddly for Nick Barmby, who hasn't found goals easy to come by from his club in this calendar year, but when he's been called upon by his country, he has answered the call. And here's Ince, who's got to it. Gascoigne looking to loop it in. 2-0.
Well, the referee could easily have given a free kick against Paul Ince for high foot. Normally that happens in the continent, but Paul Ince gets away with it. But once again, when you think Paul Ince is causing problems in the air, then the defence you're playing against must be suspect. And that's exactly what happened. Lovely ball, there you go. See the high foot there, and what a goal from Gascoigne. Took his time, picked his spot, delivered it perfectly.
England are now down to business. Here's Southgate. Beckham just making him stretch, but it's dropped well for Gary Neville. Shearer coming in. Seku's got problems with the bounce, and Alan Shearer has put England 3-0 in front to celebrate his first match as captain of his country, to score his first international goal in the senior side away from Wembley, and it's just got England back on track in the second half.
Well, that's the example of what we've been playing within themselves. Suddenly, they up the tempo, Neville gets himself forward. Sekou can't deal with it, the knock into Alan Shearer, and that's a lovely little finish. Hits it too much and he clears the bar, but he just dinks it over the goalkeeper quite confidently.
Testi Mitsanu. Now, the referee has given a penalty against Pearce for handball. As he came across, he knocked the ball up with his boot onto an arm. And England's visit to Moldova, which was bearing fruit and certainly will yield 3 points, may end on something of a downer here. And it's amazing, really, penalties conceded in Euro 96, penalty shootouts as well, and David Seaman is in the firing line once more with the ball on the penalty spot. A penalty for Moldova to be taken by Testi Mitsanu, and he's missed it. So no unhappy ending.
It's not an easy place to come. Conditions are very, very difficult, and you won't appreciate that until you've come out here and you've been on the pitch and you've been in the hotel and little things like that. But they're all excuses, and we're delighted with the win, but we can build on it and we can play a lot better than that, and I'm sure we will.
The grass was very long. It was not as good as a non-league ground in England, which, you know, wasn't the style of football that we were hoping to go out and just knock it around, and it was difficult to do that. But at the same time, to be fair to the Moldovans, they can do it at times as well. So it was just a matter of that day getting the best result possible, and a 3-0 result, you know, we were delighted with, but we would have liked to have played better.
Poland were the visitors to a packed Wembley on an October evening when football finally came home after Euro 96, with memories of Tomaszewski and 1973 still haunting the home side. Hoddle reunited Newcastle's potent strike force of Les Ferdinand and Alan Shearer.
So the two big hitters to get the game underway, Messrs Shearer and Ferdinand. So much has happened for them since they played together at Wembley for Newcastle in the Charity Shield back in August. They've been hitting it off up on Tyneside. Now can they do it in the England contest at Manama? What's actually happened with Newcastle is that Ferdinand has enjoyed opportunity to roam about rather than be tied down through the centre as he felt last season. And here come Poland, and here's Waszika, and here's Chico with a real chance, and England are a goal down after 6 minutes, and Chico has scored for Poland.
Well, it was a bad defensive mistake, wasn't it, from Gareth Southgate. Straightforward cross comes in. He's got the chance to get it away. Seaman, no chance. It's an excellent finish from Chico. But a disastrous start for England.
Beckham. Sorting out to be done by England here. Beckham. Shearer. Goalkeeper committed. England a level. Alan Shearer has done the trick. Goalkeeper was found daunting, but Shearer did exactly what England needed.
Well, Beckham looks up, plays a good diagonal ball. Shearer, good position, good header. But once again, very, very poor defensive goal. Keeper comes nowhere near the ball. He's a good 2 yards short. Great goal for England. Bad defensive error from Poland.
Shearer taking over from Ferdinand. He'll go for goal himself, but was deflected to Ferdinand, who tees up Shearer! Great strike! 2 for Shearer, 2 for England. It's looking much, much happier now.
Well, what a fantastic strike this is from Shearer. His first one goes to Ferdinand. He lays it off. He's on for the second. Absolutely magnificent strike.
And the two in tandem here. Scored by Shearer, set up by Ferdinand, and it's England 2, Poland 1.
Well, you can see what Glenn thinks of it. It's a great strike, terrific power, and also great accuracy.
Again, a good piece of refereeing. There was a push by Pearce, but an advantage played because Novak was very quickly onto the ball and finding Chitko. And Novak can shoot from here, and he does, and it swerved, and it needed turning aside by Seaman.
Well, they can't give Novak that sort of room. I think Stuart Pearce should have come out quicker and closed him down, allows him to shoot. Seaman makes a good one-handed save.
Saganowski, here come Poland again. Still feeling that there might be something in this for them. Wojtala using those long legs to good effect. A great piece of retrieving right by the touchline. This is Haito. Baldock passing the ball and the responsibility to Novak. England are in trouble here. The tackle was by Beckham. Not the first fine tackle that he's made. And suddenly it's 2 against 1. Shearer to Ferdinand. The finale England want but don't get. And there might be still a nervous moment or two, as there was seconds earlier in England's own penalty area. Poland have pressed England all the way. But the points are very nearly in English hands. Is that premature to talk of that? Alistair can't get there. Saganowski knocked away by Pearce. Really what the situation required.
Yes, Paul Ince it was who gave it away.
And that is that. 2 World Cup wins out of 2 for England and Glenn Hoddle. The home campaign kicks off successfully.
We really only wanted to play when we had the ball, and you can't do that at this level. But in many respects, you know, you go 1-0 down in front of your home fans, and sometimes the pressure's on you even more than when you're away. And all credit to the lads, they've turned it around with 2 magnificent goals from Alan.
Glenn wasn't too well pleased that night, and because a lot of the lads put the shirts on thinking this was their next game from the Euro 96, and they were going to just walk out there and, you know, win the game. You know, but it didn't happen like that. It was we got a real fright. They scored first and deserved to be in the lead. And it was only a great ball from David, but it was only Alan Shearer's brilliance on the night.
Amongst the qualities that Hoddle's had so far as an England manager is a bit of luck. But who cares? I mean, you need it. Graham Taylor didn't have it and was pilloried. And they didn't play well against Poland, but they won.
The win kept England top of Group 2. That same evening, Italy beat Georgia, so both sides still had maximum points after 2 games. Over 45,000 Georgians turned up in Tbilisi, hoping to see Kitsbayev, Kinkladze and company cause an upset. Tony Adams was one of 4 changes in the England lineup, and he took over the captaincy in the absence of the injured Alan Shearer.
Gogichashvili. Tony Adams with that patch over a cut sustained playing against Wimbledon. Plenty of players forward for Georgia here. Jamarali, a slip by Campbell. Actually, Jamarali was concentrating all the time and crossing when given the loss of footing by Sol Campbell, he might have just been able to go on and perhaps go for goal himself. Easy to say. Here's Ketsbaia against Southgate. Turning Southgate. Good play. And David Seaman, a reassuring presence there to deal with the cross shot.
He did ever so well, David, there. That's good handling. Ketsbaia does exceptionally well to turn Gareth. Drills it across, and there's those safe hands of Big Dave.
Gascoigne. Ferdinand. Oh. And this is Sheringham. England have scored!
That's fantastic, Martin. What a beautiful dummy from Teddy Sheringham.
Sheringham brought back in the side.
Oh, we missed the best part. It was a beautiful dummy. He gets a little bit of luck there off the defender, and it flips over the top of the goalkeeper.
Now Ketsbaia. Morali. No rabbit pull from the hat there. Sheringham trying to get Ferdinand on a run, and Les Ferdinand is away here. 2-0 to England. He drilled it in.
Absolutely marvellous, that is. I'm so chuffed for Les. His left foot really is the old swinger, but that was a great finish. Beautiful football once again. Lovely ball through there from Teddy Sheringham. Les showing all his athleticism there, breaking into the box, and he took it with the confidence. That's what it's all about, just having a go. Okay, it's a swinger, but if you hit the target, who knows what's going to happen, and that's in the back of the net. And this has been really turning out into a fantastic first 45 minutes for England. You know, there's going to be a lot of people who say this Georgian side was a poor side, it was this, it was that. I'm not too concerned about the Georgians being a poor side. I'm more concerned about our lads improving as a team unit and doing well and winning games, you know. Today I've seen an improvement in the team.
Kinkladze. Oh, it's a brilliant run. And the referee refusing to be intimidated.
Once again, first-class refereeing, Martin. It's never a penalty. Wonderful football from Kinkladze.
Away comes Gascoigne. And Wright. A chance for him. And the chance is rather typical of his international career before this 2-year gap. The chances that he tucks away with such ease for Arsenal. He's never quite had that facility at the higher level. But he crosses now towards Sheringham, who's in. Oh!
All the build-up to that game was about Paul Gascoigne, because there'd been the stories in the papers about him, and you know, allegedly mistreating his wife. And there was a big furore about should England be playing this man, and the FA and Hoddle issued statements and had press conferences, and it was at the time I thought it was going to be a big distraction from what was a crucial match. And then when they got out there, Gazza had his two minders. That's what they were really on that day, Ince and Batty. I thought that was a substantial performance. I thought that was the most important performance in the entire group.
There was some outstanding performances, and particularly David Batty in midfield on the day. Epitomised everything. Like, he was just a terrier, and it went right through the team. And we obviously got the goals and things that we've had talked about, and that was pleasing. You know, Teddy got the first one, and then Les got the second. And to be 2-0 up at half time was a nice feeling. To go in the dressing room, and virtually they only threatened their goal about twice in the 90 minutes. And looking back now, when you see how the Italians struggled, you know, over there and that, so it was a tremendous result.
In that game, England out-Italied Italy, if you know what I mean, because Italy went there, and whereas they would normally, you know, scrape a 1-0 win, they didn't get that win when they got there, and England did. And scoring that second goal was absolutely, to get the first, to get the second then, helped them relax and ease up and take control.
You know, it was a good ball from Teddy. I managed to flick it just past the defender and ran on and hit it with my left foot, which is a very rare occurrence on a football field. But you know, that was nice. I enjoyed that.
Places were up for grabs as an injury-ravaged England prepared for the visit of Italy. Missing were Seaman, Adams, Hinchcliffe, Sheringham and Gascoigne. Speculation mounted that the manager was contemplating the controversial decision to include Southampton striker Matthew Le Tissier. Hoddle remained tight-lipped about his team selection, but was cautiously optimistic about his team's chances.
So we can be positive. I think the support, the crowd need to go there positive, in a positive frame of mind with no anxiety. players have got to perform in the same way. But we'll certainly be giving Italy the respect that they deserve, because they are a strong nation and they're still a good side. And we must get our act together on the night, unless the result won't go our way.
Wembley was a sellout as the Italians arrived with a new manager, Cesare Maldini, the father of the captain Paolo. Matthew Le Tissier was hoping to prove his critics wrong, but on the night it was a Stamford Bridge favourite who made the biggest impression.
The three central midfield players for Italy are pressing the ball really well, Martin. Albertini, Di Matteo and Baggio making it very, very difficult for England, but England got to be patient and wait for their opening as they're doing now.
And Pearce gets in across. Well, it came quickly for Le Tissier, who took the pace off it excellently, but just couldn't get the shot away quickly enough. And there's a breakaway now for Casiraghi. And chances at either end in a matter of seconds. Zola uncharacteristically not making good contact. Le Tissier did. England's turn to trade space. Costa Curta, it's a terrific ball, controlled by Zola! A magnificent goal for Italy. Zola got free, pulled the ball down with real aplomb and thrashed it past Walker. With 19 minutes gone.
Well, that's poor defending from England. That ball's travelled some 40, 50 yards. Pearce hasn't spotted the run of Zola, he's got in behind him. And when he does get in behind, it's a great first touch and an even better second touch. Walker being at the near post, he won't be particularly happy about that.
Well, England are behind. Casiraghi climbing for this one, looking for the run of Maldini, and to some extent finding it, although it dropped behind the captain. Albertini, Di Livio coming in from the right, defended by Lasso. Zola's shot! And Walker with a greasy ball, a swerving ball to contend with, just poured it away, and it's gone behind for the corner.
Once again, wonderful skill from Zola, flicks it up on the volley, really tests Walker. Great bit of technique from the little man.
Beckham goes for goal, and it was a pretty good try. Peruzzi couldn't be sure it wasn't bending inside the post. He had to dive across and make the save. He handled the ball well.
Well, the accuracy was there, just needed a little bit more power, didn't it?
Ferrara. It was a very good try from Beckham. Pearce. What a tonic an equaliser would be before half-time for England! Oh, and the moment it came off Le Tissier's head, he thought it might be there because Peruzzi had misjudged him. He didn't get to it, Le Tissier did, but it was wide of the mark.
Once again, Italy in trouble from the cross. Peruzzi comes, gets nowhere near it. That's another great chance falling to Le Tissier. Good ball in from Batty. Just needed to be on target, and we would have been on level terms.
Well, there's just under a quarter of the game to go. And England are feeling the threat of Gianfranco Zola once more. Pearce with those around him. Dino Baggio heading it back, and I thought when he made contact he might be heading it in. England were managing to get bodies around and deal with the extreme danger here.
Well, Ian Walker completely misses the flight of this ball.
Beckham's corner. This is Pearce! Beaten away by Peruzzi. It was a good try from a tight angle. Really drilled goalwards. The search for the equaliser intensifies. Shearer gets his head to it. Merson, and then from so close, Sol Campbell, whose touch was crucial on the one goal that we've seen in England's net.
Well, surely this must be a corner. Well, perhaps not. certainly another good chance. Merson slightly wide, gets his shot in. And we recall one outstanding chance that we've actually had. That fell to Letizia with his head, and Peruzzi came out and got nowhere near the cross. But apart from that, he'd never really threatened to score.
Well, England might do now. Ince able to line it up. Beaten out again by Peruzzi. His style of save, ricocheted well out of the penalty area. Maldini in the right place to defend. Ravanelli a bit lucky, and losing the ball quickly enough. Because the game goes on with the throw. Peruzzi was almost being impeded there by Campbell. Headed back in by Batty. Shearer! And Peruzzi, when he's been needed, has done pretty much everything that Italy have required of him. Another look at the watch from Shandor Poole. It's England's first defeat on home soil in a World Cup context. A magnificent night for Italy. Gianfranco Zola's goal after 19 minutes, delighting their new coach with the old values, Cesare Maldini. The Italians have made themselves firm favourites for the automatic route to France.
It's not the last game in the group. There's plenty of games left. They've got to go to Poland their next game, which is hard. And I've always said whoever gets the result in Poland will qualify, and I still believe that.
Paul Merson's prediction later proved to be accurate, but at the time, Zola's decisive strike left the nation reeling. Suddenly, sections of the media began to question the credentials of England's management team.
We learned so much from losing, you know, that was because we won the first 3 games convincingly, and you know, you tend to think, well, this is a good job, isn't it? Game every 2 months or every month, and it's 3 wins in the trot, and you know, life is great, and all of a sudden, boom, you come right down to reality again, and you lose to Italy.
I felt they defended very, very well. I don't think there was an awful lot between the sides. I think that, again, afterwards, our media tended to go overboard as you know, the Italians were the greatest thing they'd ever seen, and we were a bunch of amateurs, which certainly wasn't the case. They had probably 3 chances on the night, which they scored 1. We had a couple of half chances, but as I say, once they got ahead, they did defend very well, and I think that was a lesson for us to. Well, certainly it was a lesson for me watching on the sidelines to observe and to take note of, because when you do see Italian teams go ahead, they are masters of keeping that lead.
I think Hoddle got it wrong, and I think it's the only time he did, and I think he's learned from it in a big way. You see, in that particular game, England had lost the spine of the side. Let's not forget this. They'd lost Seaman, they lost Adams, they lost Gascoigne, and they lost Sheringham. So if ever there is a case for not gambling and going for tried and trusted, experienced players, that would have been it.
The biggest gamble of all, the decision to play Letizia, had failed. The enigmatic forward found himself the scapegoat for England's defeat.
I think the Italians probably jumped for joy when they saw Letizia was in, because they know how to take people out of matches, and they took him out. I can understand why Hoddle picked him. It was pure fantasy. It was the thought of, you know, this is a great talent, and wouldn't it be fantastic to see him unlocking perhaps the best defence in the world? But it was a gamble, and I don't think in qualifying games for the World Cup, you know, you should take massive gambles like that. Friendly's fine, not England against Italy in a World Cup qualifying.
People talk about consistency. If you have that natural talent, you cannot produce it by turning on the tap. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. All the great writers didn't sit down and write purple prose every time they sat at their desks. There were days when it just didn't work. And I think you have to accept that. It's back to my theory that players who can win you things are also players who will lose you things. On a given day, it won't work for them. So you have to, so you're taking a chance when you play the Letizias of this world.
I came away from Wembley thinking that England would not qualify. They were looking at second place. What I'll always remember, though, was the confidence that Hoddle displayed afterwards. He was absolutely convinced still that England were going to make it. He was probably the only man in Wembley who thought so. And he was right.
By the time Georgia came to Wembley in April, England still trailed the Italians by 4 points. So a home win was crucial if England were to stay in touch with the leaders. Fortunately, the big names were back for England. Teddy Sheringham returned to the side to partner Shearer for the first time since Euro '96. Glenn Hoddle was able to bring back the Arsenal duo of David Seaman and Tony Adams. Into midfield in place of Steve McManaman came Robert Lee, playing his first game of the World Cup campaign.
So Beckham try and take on Nacho Variani, who's not the quickest defender. He's done well to find Ince, and there's a chance here for England and for Teddy Sheringham.
Well, you put money on that. Sheringham, give him that cross another 9 times, and Teddy Sheringham will hit the target every single time. He's disappointed. Beckham did beautifully here, and this is a peach of a cross from Paul Ince. It's exactly where you'd want it. It really is an unchallenged header. The challenge comes in after the header's been made, and Teddy Sheringham doesn't need me to tell him he should be hitting the target from 6 yards out. And that's twice in a matter of minutes that Rob Lee has found himself in acres in that inside left position, and now Shearer's in there.
And Sheringham's in there! And Shearer and Sheringham combine. England have the breakthrough. A couple of minutes to go to half-time. The pressure has paid off.
Well, he missed one early, Teddy Sheringham. But he was never going to miss this. They can't say they haven't been warned, Georgia. That's a great run across the face from Alan Shearer. And this is as good a ball, early, delivered into an attacking area that you want to see. He knows exactly what's required if you're a front man. One touch, quick look, ball in front of Sheringham's run, and he wasn't going to miss this. An absolutely perfect header from Sheringham. Power, direction, goalkeeper, no chance.
England winning the ball well forward through Batty. One from Beckham to Sheringham. Shearer coming late this time, but Beckham is there! And he's denied his first England goal by a sprawling kind of save from Soritzi, but an effective one. Trelia and Skardadze. This is Skardadze! Oh, straight the top of the bar. And that's how close they came to pegging England back.
Well, I don't know if David Seaman would have been able to do an awful lot about this had it been 6 inches lower. He wouldn't have been. He's beaten. The England goalkeeper's beaten here. They don't quite clear the corner. It just drops. Skardadze just takes a touch, and that's a great strike.
Glenn Hoddle, all agitation and animation there. Rob Lee looking to improve the results. Still Lee. Still Lee. And so it's it.
Well, that's a free kick. That's a free kick. He's just poked it back to the goalkeeper, Martin. Sorry there. As the goalkeeper made an excellent save from Lee. I think we'll find one of the defenders just actually nudges the ball back. He had absolutely no need to. But he just nudged the ball back into the goalkeeper's arms. Referee spot on. Saw it really quickly. And he's given a free kick to England.
It's back for Shearer. 2-0 to England. The points are in the bag now. And again, it's Sheringham and Shearer.
Great free kick. Absolutely brilliantly thought out. Just stinked it back to open it up a little bit for Alan Shearer. And what power and precision. He tried picking a spot here. Look at it, it's in front of Shearer. That's brilliant, but look at that. That's past the goalkeeper before he can move. He's beaten by sheer power. That's a super free kick, it really was.
Well, it ends on a real high. The shot rifling into the roof of the net. The game is over. England have the points safely secured, although there were moments of uncertainty in the second half. Glenn Hoddle finishes a happy man. Happy to have Shearer and Sheringham back in their partnership, which has produced both goals.
In all the previous matches, Hoddle had stressed and made sure everybody was aware of the fact that he hadn't yet had the opportunity of having Shearer and Sheringham together in the way that they were in Euro '96, when they, well, as everybody remembers, they demolished Holland, one of the great performances of the last 10 years. And Sheringham and Shearer are a little bit like Lineker and Beardsley, I think, like they were at international level.
Despite the efforts of Shearer and Sheringham, Italy maintained their lead in the group by beating Poland 3-0 in Naples, but Hoddle's men had a chance to narrow the gap away in Poland. There was a typically hostile reception for England in Poland, where they hadn't won in 31 years. The pressure was on England's strike force to break that jinx.
I have to tell you, the knives were very much out amongst the media pack on that trip, because they'd lost to Italy. Had they lost to Poland, it wouldn't have looked very good.
Everybody was saying, well, if England don't win, or only draw or lose, then we're out of it. So for the first time, there was real pressure on us. But we never allowed it to happen. We never allowed any. We only had one track in mind, was that we were going to win in Poland, not only draw, but win. And we related that to the players, and that the atmosphere and the build-up to Poland was excellent.
Now, an early scare for England, perhaps as they look for Juskowiak. Good header, Gary Neville. Up and away. Juskowiak again, Sol Campbell. Marek Juskowiak back in the side for this one. Drop for the last couple. Sheringham, neatly done, Rob Lee. Ball into the breaker. Gaza wants it. Shearer gets it. Alan Shearer! What a start for England! Alan Shearer on 4.5 minutes. And it's Poland 0, England 1. And what a marvellous opportunity taken with world-class finishing.
What a wonderful move. It doesn't take a great deal. The ball from Paul Ince getting slipped. It's a slide rule ball and a wonderful strike by Alan Shearer. Bottom corner, but still coming under pressure. But that is that man Alan Shearer's wonderful international form.
Juskowiak. The tangle off the ball. Down went Bukowski. It was accidental. Baldock. Novak, good run inside, David Beckham has lost his man, could be, brilliant challenge, and clearance by Gareth Southgate. The unlucky man for Poland, Sławomir Majak, and David Beckham lost his man in the penalty area. Back they come. Juskowiak, Seaman gets it, and the danger signs flashing there. Poland are not out of this. Poland are holding their line, but they've let Shearer go. Beckham pressurising. Beckham, can he finish? Off the line, Beckham again. Teddy Sheringham. Batty drives. Good block. Batty again. Beckham is down. Shearer, brilliant. Shearer, can he finish? Will he pull back? Penalty England. At long last, referee. He was clearly pulled back, and England have a penalty at the death of the first half.
What we've seen there in the last couple of minutes, Jonathan, is what England's been good about England all this half. Up there, they put pressure on the Polish, back three, and they seem to be so unsteady it's untrue. And Shearer there as the balls come in. Just seeing Batty's shot there.
He does well, Batty, doesn't he? Look,
but it's a great ball. Just watch the ability here of Alan Shearer. He's surrounded by Polish players.
Terrific ball.
Takes it on his chest. You can see the arms all around him at the moment.
That's a penalty, yeah.
And there you go. He knows that Alan Shearer is lethal.
Shearer will be to take the spot kick.
Let's remember David Beckham and all that. He was very unlucky. Let's hope he does get up off the floor there behind the goal.
Very brave. The half started with an England goal on 4 minutes with this man. Can he finish it? Was it the 11th goal in 10 internationals for England? Alan Shearer against Andrei Wozniak for 2-0. Oh, it's off the post! Now will that be a spur for Poland? Lee, Shearer's offside, Lee has to go alone, the 1-2 is showing them, Robert Lee, can he finish? Wozniak closes Lee, Robert Lee still, Sheringham! Ready, steady, Teddy seals up the victory for England! England 2, Poland 0, and the Boulevard of Dreams is still alive for England and Glenn.
I was going to say, I thought Rob Lee has got to thoroughly deserve this goal. He's had a magnificent second half, and I thought, oh no, he's missed it, he's lost it. And then he's kept his composure. No one for Teddy Sheringham, and Teddy doesn't miss them.
A goal right at the start by Alan Shearer. A goal right at the death by Teddy Sheringham. And England's most potent front duo since Beardsley and Lineker celebrate victory in Poland.
What I remember most of all about the Poland game, I think, was that the first goal from Shearer, we were right behind it in the commentary box. And when the pass was played through to him, you knew where it was going. I mean, you just knew. That is a fantastic feeling, you know, to have that. You just knew that as soon as the ball was on his right foot, you knew where it was going to go. And that's a wonderful feeling to have when you've got somebody like that in an England side. Of course, if he'd scored the penalty, they wouldn't have been hanging on a bit the way that they were, but he's invaluable.
And the atmosphere in the dressing room was even better than the Italian game, because I don't know if it was because we were so much on the pitch, the Italian game, that was an anticlimax in the dressing room. Everybody was sort of worn out, you know, whereas against Poland it was a fabulous night, because I felt that night that we were going to make it, you know.
As the England team bus arrived at Wembley for their penultimate match of the campaign, the players were boosted by the news that Italy, who'd kicked off earlier, had only managed a goalless draw in Georgia. Skipper for the night, David Seaman, knew that an England win would put them top of the group. With Shearer and Sheringham out injured, Ian Wright had the chance to grab the goal-scoring limelight. It was an emotional evening.
The atmosphere for the Moldova game at Wembley was unprecedented, really, because it was in the wake of Princess Diana's death, and the nation was coming out of mourning, but was still gripped and consumed by this stunned feeling. And you know, bringing the country together for a football match like that, I think it certainly roused the players, and in particular Paul Gascoigne and Ian Wright. I don't know whether it was the atmosphere that got to Gascoigne, but he then turned on his best performance for a very long time in an England shirt. And it was a very moving evening.
Well, tragic circumstances have transformed as near as you can get to a routine World Cup fixture into an occasion that really goes beyond football itself. So England with an opportunity to raise the spirits in the country at such a distressing time. Beckham with the ball back in. Scholes! England break through, and Paul Scholes, who's taking to senior international football so naturally, is the man of the moment again.
Well, it's a great process from Beckham, so inviting. Scholes gets there first. That really is a brilliant header.
Well, it took England 28 minutes. Gascoigne. A lot of the ball in the first half, of course. His Scholes. Mr. Mitsani came out to put up a barrier to his path. Gascoigne is there again. He's trying to slip it through for Wright! Wonderful start to the second half for England, and Ian Wright in particular. He spun, he shot, first time, scored, and it's 2-0 England.
Excellent bit of vision from Gascoigne. Lovely little dribble. Just waited for the movement from Ian Wright. He wasn't picked up. He wasted no time. Totally surprised the keeper, beat him at his near side. He thought it was going to cross in. Wright sticks in the near post. What a start, second half for England.
54 seconds into the second half, and a Wembley England goal for Ian Wright. Ripley, lovely cross against the post by Gascoigne, and then when you were sure it was going to go into the back of the net, well, it was David Batty.
Well, we spoke about the quality of the cross from Beckham for the initial goal, the opening goal for the Skulls. This is the best cross of the game. Absolutely brilliant, so inviting for Gascoigne. Unlucky with the first attempt. Comes back off the post to David Batty, gets the chance, puts it over the bar.
Gascoigne. Ian Wright, Gascoigne, who deserved the goal, has got one. With 10 minutes to go, they've matched the scoreline in Moldova when he was amongst the goal-getters then. It is 3-0 to Glenn Hoddle's England.
Well, he's deserved that, hasn't he? For me, he's been England's outstanding player. Once again, typical Gascoigne run. A good vision, good little ball from Ian Wright. And that really is a fantastic finish. It's the second time the goalkeeper's been wrong-footed. Beats him at his near side. Good play this from Gascoigne. Look at the space Ian Wright's in.
And he's onside, played onside by the injured Rebeja. And there should be some easy pickings for England here. 4-0. Ian Wright gets his second. England's biggest margin of victory since Glenn Hoddle took over as head coach.
Clever play that was from Ian Wright. He sensed that the defender from Moldova was injured, playing him onside on the near side of the picture here. He went to the far side. Linesman was in no doubt, one-on-one with the keeper. How many times have we seen that situation? And how many times have we seen the end result? The ball in the back of the net. I said there was more goals. 4-0. Everyone's gone home absolutely delighted. A comprehensive victory for England.
No disrespect, but we felt we were going to beat Moldova, but we just wanted to put on. We always felt we wanted to put, especially that week with Princess Di and the circumstances. It was a very important evening for us, and we wanted to put on a show for the English supporters, and I think that they got it.
Wembley celebrated England's 6th win out of 7, and the dream of reaching France '98 was suddenly a realistic one. Minds began to turn towards the final match in Italy.
We've got to go there with a determined mind. We've got to go and look for the 3 points, not a draw. We've got to look for the 3 points. We go there looking for a draw, we'll get beat. Can't sit back, we must play the game we're capable of doing, and you know, we've got a job to do when we go there, and we'll concentrate that when the time comes.
Yeah, we got to go there to beat them, I believe, because if we get a draw, then we're there. So if we go to beat them, it's the right frame of mind. The boss wouldn't have it any other way. You know, and we want to beat them for beating us here at Wembley anyway. So it's nice, it's poised, lovely, it's lovely.
England's victory put them top of the group by 1 point. Now they were 90 minutes and just a point away from a World Cup place. As the squad trained for the crunch game in Rome, ex-Milan and England striker Luther Blissett assessed England's chances.
I would give England a very good chance of actually getting a result against Italy. Italy are no longer the strong force they once were, because Italy's strength used to come from their midfield, but now they don't have that strength anymore. They play the game far more where they pass the ball around, but they don't penetrate as much as they used to. So I'll give England a great chance to actually get at them.
So to the highly charged atmosphere of Rome's Olympic Stadium. Only an Italy victory could deny England a place in France. History, however, favoured the Italians. The Azzurri had never lost a World Cup qualifier in Rome. But England had a psychological advantage. They'd recently beaten Italy in a friendly tournament in France. As they took the field, led by the stand-in skipper Paul Ince, Hoddle's side had the determination and the confidence to take the game to the Italians.
And we never once talked about drawing the game. We never once said that we needed to only draw to qualify. We were just totally convinced we would get a win, and hoping that would rub off as it did on the players. We had 3 formations. Depending on how the Italians played, we could have changed the team 3 times, 3 different tactical formations in the one match to win the match or to get the result. So we had it all in our own minds how we could have changed if the Italians had done certain things. But it ended up the way that they played it, no disrespect, but on the day they played into our hands, you know.
And the thing that struck me most of all about that night was that Hoddle was asked the day before the game whether he would know when the buzzer or the bell or whatever it is went in the dressing room, whether his team were going to make it. They were up for it. And he said, yes, he would. He'd look at the faces and he would know. And logically, he was then asked, did you get that feeling at Wembley when they played Italy? And he said, honestly, no, I didn't. And he knew, again, in Rome, that when the buzzer went, that the team had the inner strength, which is what it's all about, really, the inner belief, the confidence, possibly a lot of that from having beaten the Italians in France as well. He knew that they felt that they could do it. And that's a lot of the battle won, isn't it?
With England still one man light. The captain is off for the moment. Lasso. Batty. David Seaman taking the touch. To be fair, talking to the Italian players here, they have recognised an improvement in England's flexibility. It started under Terry Venables. A recognition, really, of the value of possession at this level of the game. And here are England keeping the ball and teasing Italy at their own Olympic Stadium.
Pity. Got all that from Graham Lasso, but before that had been absolutely what was called for.
It's the gospel according to Glenn.
Yeah.
Well, the England management have done everything possible to enable their players to focus clearly on the task tonight. It is a task, as we've been stressing, that shouldn't be underestimated. The team came out here on Wednesday. They've been kept away from the glare of the media. They've only been seen in training yesterday afternoon out on the pitch at the Olympic Stadium. Adams. Others needing to clear England's lines here.
Well played. 2 guests upstairs talked about having cool heads. Great example of it there. No panic, even deep in your own 18-yard box. Cool, lovely play. Now they've bought themselves some time and good possession on the halfway line.
Gascoigne. Beckham. Sheringham guiding it down for Ince! Well, it flew at Peruzzi, who got his arms up to parry it back into play, and the pace off the goalkeeper stopped any England follow-up.
Well, great effort. Brilliantly worked free kick. Isolated Sheringham on Delivio. And it worked an absolute treat. Anywhere else but straight at Peruzzi, and England might well have been one up. That was what they were trying to do, isolate him. That's a brilliant strike from Paul Ince. I think Peruzzi's a happy man. That was straight at him.
Now Gascoigne. And passing the ball scientifically again. Beckham. This is great play. Sheringham. David Beckham! Well, that would have rubber-stamped England's first half performance.
Absolutely carved them open. Absolutely top-class football. Little gives and goes all over the place. Beckham's free, looking to place it.
Zola. Now Albertini. Half an hour left. Early cross from Delivio, trying to use the strength of Vieri. It's a good turn by Chiesa, beaten away by Seaman.
Good save. I would have been surprised if David had been beaten from that type of angle. The shot was a fierce one.
foul then by Benariba.
It's good play. Tricks. Gareth Southgate, that's a good fist away from the danger area, not a cross goal where there was danger, but back out and away again.
And in England, playing with such belief. But they are better than Italy.
I think they believe that, and they're certainly showing that tonight.
Del Piero is chasing. Campbell's got to be calm. And Del Piero is there. And the referee is booking Del Piero for diving. Oh, that was a heart-stopping moment.
Oh, it wasn't half. Tony Adams, the right leg comes out, doesn't it, Martin? It comes out, whether it catches him, I'm not sure, but it certainly comes out. Del Piero certainly will. The referee's the best, absolutely first-class position he was in. Probably the best place, right behind the incident. Would have seen had the leg make contact or not. He thought not.
For a second there, undoubtedly the nastiest moment for England followers of the whole evening so far. Del Piero taking on two. And Sol Campbell.
Delivio's in trouble, Martin.
Well, the card has come out.
And he's off.
For a second time for Delivio. Italy are down to 10 men.
It just gets better
and the odds swing England's way even further. Benariba. And the acrobatics from Vieri. Another look at the watch from the Dutch referee. Wright chases, Peruzzi hesitates, and Ian Wright goes on. It's still Wright, can he score? He's hit the post! This is Sheringham.
Oh dear.
Well, the game isn't over. It effectively could have been. And here come Chiesa and Italy with Del Piero. Oh!
Well, you've
had
chances.
The drama of top-level sport encapsulated in those last seconds.
30 seconds. It could have been, and maybe should have been all over. And then 30 seconds later, Vieri. Well, that must have been close. It's a great header. He gets power, he gets direction under pressure. It must only be inches.
You talk about fine margins at both ends of the pitch. And that surely must be it.
Well, there can't be anything left, apart from the final whistle, surely. Come on, ref.
England have qualified for the 1998 World Cup finals. It's the dance of joy for the man who masterminded it all. And raise your glasses back home. An unforgettable night for England. Olympian heights in the Olympic Stadium. Nerves strained to the very limits, especially in the final seconds. A group of bright, talented, motivated players in tears of joy.
What a performance the boys have put in. Really felt we deserved to win the game. We passed the ball extremely well, but we're absolutely delighted, not only for ourselves. A lot of lads that are watching now, well done, boys. You know you are. You've done magnificent, but not only for that, for the nation. It's 8 years since we've qualified for a World Cup, and you know, now the hard work starts.
We dug in there. I kept saying to Worth, how long? He kept saying 4 minutes. 2 minutes later, 3 minutes. So we all got a bit panicky, you know. But it would have been disappointing if we'd have come away without the win or without qualifying for World Cup finals. So I think over the campaign, we've gone away, haven't considered a goal in all of our matches away, which says a lot for their defence and the way we've planned in training, the way we work together. And I'm glad we won for the nation. The fans are fantastic. You can hear them outside there now. It's a great day for English football, a great day for our nation. I love football.
Honestly, I don't know what to say. We knew we had to dig in, man. We had to dig in. And we've done it, man. We knew it was going to be hard. And we've done it, man. I'm at the World Cup, hopefully. Please pick me Glenn Hoddle for the World Cup.
How's your blood pressure in the final few minutes when there were chances both ends?
Well, we hit the post, And it was like a dream. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and it's the first time they'd got behind us. And I must admit, I was pretty close to a heart stopping. I thought it was a goal. I really thought it was in the back of the net, but when I see it go past the post, obviously, I think everyone felt then that we were going to do the job.
The image that people will remember from that will be the Geronimo headband, weren't they, around Paul Ince, which was shades of Terry Butcher in Sweden. I think that's one of the most evocative pictures. And in a sense, that just embodied and symbolised the guts and the character that was being shown out on the pitch.
It was a great feeling, and to see the way the lads took everything on board and the way we played, even when we went down to 10 men, when Paul Ince went off to get the stitches in, the way the lads just passed the ball around, the confidence was, it made us feel really, really cool on the bench, you know. And honestly, it was an amazing feeling, because you just felt that, you know, I was disappointed we didn't win, to be honest. The biggest chance, of course, was the last minute when Ian's, you know, somehow managed to go round the goalkeeper, and you're just willing that ball to go in the net, and how it never went in, I don't know. I still to this day keep watching it, expecting that ball to slide in, you know. And he hits the post, comes out, and you're just expecting Terry to finish it off, which 9 times out of 10 he would do. And Terry's come back inside, and they've stole the ball, and then all of a sudden, it's a different feeling, isn't it? The other teams, it's not a nice feeling. They're going up the other end of the field somehow or another. They've got to the first time in the night, they've got to the byline, swung over a great cross, and there's Vieira at the back post with Graham Lasso. We did everything in his power to put him off. I just watched David Seaman, because when I seen the cross, I just felt, well, they're going to get a header on, and I just watched his position, and I just felt he had it under control. And he said, and everybody thinks, yeah, sure, but I just felt for some reason David genuinely, he was so cool the whole night, so I had no reason to disbelieve him. Yeah.
So England finished Group 2 winners, 1 point ahead of Italy with just 2 goals conceded. Glenn Hoddle called upon 29 players on the road to France, and from England's bright start on the Black Sea to a nail-biting finale in the Eternal City, it's been a glorious campaign. England's reward is a World Cup place alongside 31 other countries in France. They begin their quest against Tunisia in Marseille on June the 15th. Romania and Colombia are sure to provide them with a tough test, but Hoddle will travel to France with confidence. The bookmakers have installed England as joint third favourites, and many believe that 32 years after their last triumph, the nation will once again be celebrating a World Cup win.
The players deserve all the credit, really, because their attitude has been absolutely wonderful, and they've been a pleasure to work with.
There are many reasons why England did so well. The coming together, the spirit, the management of Glenn Hoddle, certainly. But I think overwhelmingly the realisation that for half of the likely team, some very big names, this could be the last chance of playing in a World Cup. And you're talking about Teddy Sheringham, Paul Gascoigne, Ian Wright, Tony Adams, Paul Ince, David Seaman. In fact, in many ways, I would go so far as to say that if England were ever going to win a World Cup away from England, this could be it, because the timing could be right for them. From a personal point of view, I'm sick of hearing some people on the pitch. I think it's all over. You know, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to see England win a World Cup, and why not?